Hi there, here we are, chapter 58. Odd is just getting ready to go into the mall to take on Officer Varner, who is the killer that he's been looking for. Here we go, chapter 58. With a low ceiling and endless gray concrete, the mall employee underground parking garage and loading dock had the bleak and ominous atmosphere of an ancient tomb deep under Egyptian sands. The tomb of a hated pharaoh whose subjects had buried him on the cheap, without glittering gold vessels or ornamentation of any kind. The elevated dock ran the length of the immense structure, and big trucks were backed up to it at various points. At the department store, 2 semis at a time could bypass the dock and pull directly into an enormous receiving room. This place cluttered and hummed with activity as the truck crews offloaded late-arriving sales merchandise, and the harried stockroom employees prepped it for delivery to the sales floor after the close of business. I passed among racks, carts, carousels, bins, boxes, and drums of merchandise, everything from women's party dresses to culinary gadgets to sporting goods, perfume, swimwear, gourmet chocolates. Nobody challenged my right to be there, and when I plucked a hardwood baseball bat out of a drum full of them, no one ordered me to put it back. Another drum contained hollow aluminum bats. They weren't what I wanted. I preferred a bat with heft. I required a certain balance to the instrument. You can better break an arm with a wooden club, more easily shatter a knee. Maybe I would need the baseball bat, maybe I wouldn't. The fact that it was there, and that PMS brought me to it, seems to suggest that if I didn't avail myself of it, then I would later regret my decision. The only extracurricular activity I went out for in high school was baseball. As I wrote earlier, I had the best stats on the team, even though I could only play home games. I'm not out of practice either. The Pico Mundo Grill has a team. We play other businesses and civic organizations. We whoop ass year after year. Repeatedly, loaded forklifts and electric carts announced their approach with soft beeps and musical toots. I stepped out of their way, but kept moving, though I had no idea where I was going. In my mind's eye, Simon Varner. Sweet face, sleepy eyes, POD on his left forearm. Find the bastard. A pair of extra-wide double doors swung into a corridor with a bare concrete floor and painted concrete walls. I hesitated, looked right, turned left. My stomach churned. I needed antacids. I needed a bigger bat, a bulletproof vest, and backup too, but I didn't have them either. I just kept moving. Doors led to rooms off the right side of the corridor. Most were labeled bathrooms, shipping office, maintenance office. Seeking Simon Varner, sweet face, Prince of Darkness, feel the pull of him, drawing me forward. I passed 2 men, a woman, another man. We smiled and nodded. None of them seemed to wonder where the game was, what the score might be, whose team I was on. Soon I came to a door marked security. I stopped. This didn't feel right, and yet it did. When PMS works, I usually know that I've arrived. This time I felt that I'd arrived. I can't explain the difference, but it was real. I put my hand on the knob, but hesitated. In my mind, I heard Lisette Raines as she'd spoken to me at the chief's recent barbecue. I was just a nail technician, and now I'm a certified nail artist. For the life of me, and it really might be for the life of me, considering that I was about to plunge into a fire of one kind or another, I didn't know why I should call Lisette at this juncture. Her voice haunted me again. It takes a while to realize what a lonely world it is, and when you do, then the future looks kind of scary. I took my hand off the knob. I stepped to one side of the door. Iron-shod hooves on hard-baked ground could have made no louder thunder than the internal booming of my galloping heart. My instinct is a winning coach, and when it said batter up, I didn't argue that I wasn't ready for the game. I gripped the bat in both hands, assumed the stance, and said a prayer to Mickey Mantle. The door opened, and a guy stepped boldly into the corridor. He was dressed in black boots, a lightweight black jumpsuit with hood, a black ski mask, and black gloves. He carried an assault rifle so big and wicked that it looked as unreal as the weaponry in an early Schwarzenegger movie. From a utility belt hung 8 or 10 spare magazines. He looked to his left when he came out of the security room. I stood to his right, but he sensed me at once and in mid-step turned his head toward me. Never one who liked to bunt, I swung hard, high above the strike zone, and hit him in the face. I would have been surprised if he hadn't gone down cold. I was not surprised. The corridor was deserted. No one had seen, for the moment. I needed to handle this as anonymously as possible, to avoid questions later if the chief remained unable to run interference for me. After rolling the baseball bat into the security room and sliding the assault rifle after it, I grabbed the gunman by the jumpsuit and dragged him in there too, out of the hallway, and shut the door. Among overturned office chairs and spilled mugs of coffee, 3 unarmed security guards lay dead in this bunker. Apparently, they had been killed with a silencer-fitted pistol because the shots had not attracted attention. They looked surprised. The sight of them tortured me. They were dead because I had been too slow on the uptake. I know that I'm not responsible for every death I can't prevent. I understand that I can't carry the world on my back like Atlas, but I feel that I should. 12 oversized TV monitors, each currently in quartered screen format, featured 48 views provided by cameras positioned throughout the department store. Everywhere I looked, the aisles were busy. The sale had pulled in shoppers from all over Maravilla County. I knelt beside the gunman and stripped off his ski mask. His nose was broken, bleeding. Breath bubbled in the blood. His right eye would probably swell entirely shut. A welt had already begun to form on his forehead. He wasn't Simon Varner. Before me lay Bern Eccles, the deputy who had been at the barbecue, who had been invited because the chief and Carla Porter had been trying to match him up with Lisette Raines. That's it. Chapter 58. See you next time.